Hello everyone. The European Individual Championship is already history, but it's never too late to have a look at a remarkable game. A game that was played at this championship and which is probably the most beautiful one, or at least one of the most beautiful ones. Even though Daniil Dubov didn't do that well at this tournament, he created a real masterpiece in his game against Ante Brkic, a game that was highly praised by many players worldwide, including the prominent Ukrainian grandmaster Mr. Elyanov, who compared it with the immortal game Tore versus Lasker. Okay, so that game went this way. It was bishop b4, knight to c3, h6, and quickly we're skipping the theoretical part. I just want to mention that here, instead of the move queen to c2, white can also go rook to c1, but the more important things are about to come next, so let's really quickly skip the theoretical part. Knight g3, h takes g3, and as a result of the opening, white's pawn structure is severely damaged. So he has a pair of doubled pawns, but he has lead in the development, and eventually he is going to try to make use of that by further opening the position here with the move e4. Forgot to mention that the move knight to c6 is a novelty by Brkic. All the predecessors saw the move c5 here, but obviously the Croatian grandmaster wanted to make sure that the position is not easily opened, and he tried to play as stable as possible with the move knight c6. Now white wants to open as many files as he can for his pieces because he has lead in the development, and he needs obviously to compensate for the damaged pawn structure. And after the capture he takes with the queen, and black hurries to bring his king into safety. With the advance of his pawns on the king's side, he burned the bridges here, so he can no longer castle short, but he can try at least to castle long with the move queen d6. After king to f2, he played bishop to d7, and on the next move nobody can stop him to castle long, and now white played c5, grabbing space and opening the diagonal for this bishop. We're going to see that this is important in a moment. The queen dropped back on e7. Maybe queen d5 was a move, but then white doesn't have to capture it, and he can even consider moving backwards with his queen, and then the move c4 is going to be a very powerful threat. Although he can of course capture and take on g5, that would be easier. Okay, so on queen e7, white played rook b1, threatening the pawn on b7. Now black literally has no choice. If he defends the pawn with a move like rook b8, white is going to play bishop d3 when the black king is not capable of castling on either side, as the white piece is waiting for him. Okay, rook b8 is making it impossible to castle long, but castling short is always going to be some checkmate coming on h7, and he finished his plan by castling long. Yes, but people are waiting there for him. Pieces are waiting there for him, and Dubov is opening the road for his queen. Or at least he's trying to open the road for the queen. Now if knight e5, obviously there'll be checkmate on b7, but why can't black just simply get rid of this queen with the move f5? This is the first line that the computer gives as well, but surprisingly this turned out to be just losing move. Actually, it's very difficult to give any good advice for black in this situation anymore, so let's see how white is in fact refuting this one. He played queen to f3. We'll be back at this moment just a couple of minutes later. Let's see what happened first. Queen e3, queen to f3, and then g4. Black is trying to get rid of this queen because he understands that the queen here is really very powerful. But then Dubov didn't intend to move away the queen from there. He brought more pieces into the attack with the move bishop a6. If you remember the move c5, this is what it was designed for. Not only moving the queen away from the active position, but bringing the bishop into the attack. Now capturing on a6 is not going to help black at all. His position is going to get damaged, and after knight c6, bishop c6, and queen to c6, white is going to start harvesting the pawns, the one on a6, the one on e6, and at the same time this king is always going to be in mortal danger. So white is going to have decisive attack without even a hint of any counterplay plus extra material. So therefore, instead of taking on a6, Black took the queen, just winning it, and then probably he thought, well, I have no choice, I'll take the queen and I will see what happens if there is only perpetual check or if there is something more for white. Okay, taking on b7 starts the seesaw mechanism or the windmill mechanism, and after king b8 this bishop can take on the diagonal as many things as he likes because it has very nice support of his beautiful rook on b1. So check, another check, and this one also goes away, the one on f3, king c8. And already here bishop e2 was an option, but the way that Dubov finished the game was bishop e7 check, and on king b8 he gave the check on c6. After king c8 he doubled simply the rooks, with the obvious intention of going rook b1 and delivering checkmate. And as strange as it might seem, Black couldn't find any defense against this one and he resigned. Possible lines here would have been if he just moves away the rook somewhere, rook d to f8, then simply bishop takes d7, the king cannot go away on d8 because of the checkmate. And this means that white is already ahead in the material and he is delivering checkmates. Actually, if queen takes on d7, he wouldn't even bother taking the queen, he would just double the rooks, renewing the threat, knowing that Black has nowhere to go. Or c6, making sure that the queen is not going anywhere. If instead of that, instead of rook f8, Black captures on c6 himself, then once again white wouldn't be worrying about that bishop on c6, he will simply double the rooks and then rook b8 followed by rook b7 would be checkmate. Instead of bishop to c6 on move number 25, there was an alternative win. So the bishop can go also on d5, or like it was on f3, and next he can go bishop to c4, threatening the checkmate from this side of the board. That would be very, very similar to what we have seen. Bishop b5 is pretty much the only move to save the mate, but then after bishop b5, bishop a6 threat is still there. And if Black tries somehow to defend with rook d6, there will be a capture, followed by bishop d7 check, and white is winning plenty of material. On king d8 he can just take the queen with knight to f7, but I admit that the way that Dubov was played was even more beautiful, not giving a single chance to his opponent to do anything. Moving back on move number 18, f5, when the queen was under attack, it seems like that Dubov was afraid that this file would be opened, and he postponed the move bishop a6 by playing queen f3 first. But analysis showed that bishop a6 was also possible right here, right now, and it was equally good, and it was winning as well, because if they capture on e4, we're having again the same mechanism of capturing a lot of stuff, then take the pawn on e4, then give another check and make sure that this king is defended against the checks, and only after that, the same idea that Dubov did, rook b2. He wants to double the rooks, deliver checkmate. If c6, nothing changes the situation, so we can double the rooks and simply check, check, and checkmate. The two rooks are delivering checkmate. And if instead of c6 they try somehow to run and to open road for the king with a move like rook f to d8, this one, there would be the move rook to b1 and king d8 check. And okay, knight to c6 is just winning plenty of material, and white is completely winning here as well. So a great game by Dubov, and remember this seesaw mechanism. Check, back, with this guy here helping all the time. Thanks for watching, see you next time.